It's a really quick video on showing you how to find the least common multiple. For short, we call it the LCM. Least common multiple kind of tells you in parts what it's going to be. Least means smallest. Common means both people have it or all of them have it if you have more than two. And multiples are the products I get when I multiply. So if I wanted to find the LCM of 7 and 3, I would take 7 and find the multiples of 7. So 7 times 1. 7 times 2, 7 times 3, 7 times 4, 7 times 5, and so on. And then I'm going to find the multiples of 3. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. And now I'm looking for the lowest number that's in both lines. I see 3 is the lowest, but there's not a 3 in the sevens. It's not a multiple of 7. So I go down the list and check carefully, and the first one I come to is 21. So the least common multiple of 7 and 3 is 21. The reason I need to find least common multiples is for a few days down the road when we're trying to add and subtract fractions that have different denominators. Let's try another one out. Least common multiple of 6 and 8. So I'm going to count by 6's. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36. Count by 8's. 8 times 1, 8 times 2, 8 times 3. That's far enough to go because I see right now that 24 is in both rows and it is the smallest one you could be. So the LCM of 6 and 8 equals 24. LCM of 4 and 5. Step 1, I'm counting by 4's. Grab yours and know your 4's. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 40. I already messed up my own song. 32, 36, 40, 44. With multiples of 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. One thing I know about 5's is when I do multiples of 5's, the number's always in with a 5 or a 0. So all I have to do is look through the 4's, and I'm looking for a number that ends with a 5 or a 0. There's the smallest one, 20. So the least common multiple of 4 and 5 is 20. By this point, I have some people in class who sometimes can look at them and go, hey, you know what? If I just take the two numbers times each other, I get the LCM. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. In this case, 4 times 5 equals 20. But on the previous page, if I take 6 times 8, that would be 48. So that would also 48 would be a common multiple. It's just not the lowest one because 24 was lower. Let's try for you to try out on your own. Stop the video when you try it. Counting by 11's. 11's are nice. Just write the other number twice. And I'm counting by 2's. And actually, I probably could have just looked up at my first row and said, you know what? The first time I come to an even number, that's going to be a multiple of 2 because 2's are really even numbers. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So the lowest common multiple is 22. You might notice that sometimes these numbers could get pretty big pretty fast. Try this one out on your own. Least common multiple of 5 and 6. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. Let's go to 6's. 6 times 1, 6 times 2, 6 times 3, 6 times 4, 6 times 5, 6 times 6. And again, since I know all the multiples of 5 end with a 5 or a 0, I'm just looking for the first one in the 6's that ends with a 5 or a 0. There it is. It's a 30. Least common multiple of 5 and 6 would be a 30. Stop the video when you try it out. Some counting by 9's. 9, 18, 27, 36, 45. That may be far enough. Counting by 3's. 3, 6, 9. Oh, that's as far as I have to go. It could be that my least common multiple is one of my two numbers. In this case, it happens to be that it's a 9 because when I multiply numbers by 3, one of the multiples is 9. So the least common multiple of 9 and 3 is just 9. That tells me when I'm changing denominators down the road in a couple days, I would not have to change the one that already ends with a 9. Last one. Least common multiple of 6 and 10. I know multiples of 10 are always going to end with a 0. So all I have to do is the 6's, and I'm looking for the first one that ends with a 0. So 6 times 1, 6 times 2, 6 times 3, 6 times 4, 6 times 5. There we go. 6 times 5 equals 30. 3 times 10 equals 30. So my least common multiple is going to be 30. Notice this time it didn't work out where I just take the two numbers times each other again. So that was the fast way to find the least common multiple.